Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is your girl, Kwamia, but for those that can't pronounce my name, you call me Q, Kwa, or either Queen. I'm your founder, your CEO, your host, but of course, the creator of Pillow Talk with the Tea Podcast. I am here with another amazing episode that we're going to dive into some amazing tea while we sipping it and talk about some incredible hot topics along. So today on this episode, we are back with another amazing, incredible queen. Listen, I have an amazing guest. Her name is Chrissy the GOAT. Listen, the name fits her. Chrissy, tell the people who you are.
My name is Chrissy. I go by Chrissy the GOAT because I'm the GOAT at everything. I put my mind to. I was previously doing a podcast. I had a co-host, but with the co-host, you have to be aligned and on the same page, and it just wasn't working out how I expected it to. So I'm actually in the process of launching my own podcast. It's called Tha G.O.A.T Podcast, and it's great overall topic. So that's actually going to kick off in March. In the meantime, that's where if you see all of my little reels that I drop, my little inspirationals or me just running my mouth and giving my opinion, that's what I do. So I'm kind of trying to stay busy with that.
Got you. I definitely get it. I definitely know what that is because when I first started, I had a co-host. And, we wasn't aligned, and it was more of a hobby or something to do for her. This is a brand, this is a business, this is an entity for me.
Yeah.
Furthermore than taking it than this podcast. Podcast is just the foundation. And there's so many other entities that's going to build on top of just, the podcast. So yeah. I get you. I hear where you're coming from. So, of course, tonight's topic is called Don't Lose Yourself in Love. So when you hear that topic or that title that I state, what comes basically generated to your mind and your heart?
The younger me. Do not. Because I've been there, giving my all to someone and trying to pick up the slack on both ends, and him just not being all in, and in the midst of me trying to hold what I wanted us to have together, I was losing who I was while even trying to build him up in the areas that he was struggling with. So the old me.
I definitely get that because we can end up losing ourselves in a mix of love, especially we haven't found a foundation within ourselves. We haven't found our purpose, our worth, or created standards, our boundaries. Could definitely end up losing yourself. I think a lot of the old younger version of ourselves have done that at one point in time of our lives. And so in regards to that, and that's being a young woman once, we still young no matter what. Like, don't crack. What can you basically say? Because, like, you listen, I have a 22-year-old, right? And I see these 20-somethings, they just be getting in and out and in and out and in and out of relationships and in love, as they quote unquote say. Right. What's your opinion when you see this nowadays, especially it being 2023?
Honestly, I'm open. I wish I would have listened to that phrase, date them all, because I would have dated them all, or probably quite a few, But I was the relationship type, and I always got caught up, even at a young age. I was so focused on having a relationship because I didn't want to sleep around. I didn't want people to look at me like, dang, I just seen her with this person or that person. But when they say date them all, that doesn't necessarily mean sleep with them all. That's be young, enjoy your life, your young life, because ain't no getting it back. We gonna look young forever, but we're not gonna be young forever. So I think it's important to really experience different people and date. But like you said, with that, because they be hopping in and out, but within their mind, I'm in love and you're not in love. And it come and go so fast, especially with social media. One minute you're all in love with this person, the next minute I done found me somebody new, and now you all lusting over this person, and it's a cycle. I don't know where it went, where the switch flipped or whatever. I have a 23-year-old too and a 21-year-old, but they're boys. But like my middle child, I don't know where he get his choice of women from. I don't know at all. And so I know it's different when it's a girl versus a boy that you're raising, but I'm like, boy, I hope my 16-year-old, I hope I don't go through those issues that I see him going through, because he has the worst selection, the worst. And he loves hard. He's always in love. He always think he found the one. Oh, she's different from the last one, mom. You know, so
You sound like my son.
okay, so
Yeah, my son, it sound like my son, and I'll be like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm like, first of all, I don't even think that you're in love. You are so deep in lust and like that you confusing yourself with the emotions of you thinking you're in love. And I say, listen, you 22, he just turned 22 on January 27th. And I'm like, listen, enjoy the fruits of your 20s. You don't have to rush to try to settle down. And if she's putting pressure on you to settle down, listen, date them all. Like, date them all.
yes. Yes.
But be open and be honest about that you are dating multiple partners. Because even now, so fast forward to adulthood, this is what I even tell women of, our age, because I just turned 41 in December. And I really agreed having multiple of suitors to date. You ain't committed to anybody until you have that conversation and you decide to say, hey, I'm no longer going to date the other suitors, but this is the one because we are aligned, we are together, the energy is good, and we are growing to, you can see yourself with that person. So, and I tell women, I say, listen, date them all, but be open, be honest. And even I wish some of our men would do the same thing too, because I feel like they create this image in a woman's head, having her think that she's the only one when she's not. And now she got this perception and this illusion in her head thinking like, oh, this is my man and only my man. And then when she see him with another woman, now they ready to brawl.
And that's why communication is so important, because yes, date them all, but at our age, we're adults, not just at our age, but as adults, when you become involved with someone and then it becomes regular, or even now we living together, now we're doing every single thing that a couple does, but we're not in a relationship. I had a friend like that, and I had to let her know, y'all may have y'all arrangements for or whatever, but you sleep with this man every night. You live with him. Y'all share bills. Y'all do all of this stuff. You have every right to feel like he owes you something.
Yeah.
You're not wrong for that. But that's when the communication comes in, and you have to express that. And okay, because a conversation is always needed to be had at every level of a relationship. Y'all might have reached a milestone and it's like, okay, let's take a look and see where we at or where we going. But
yeah, I definitely agree. Communication, I feel like, is definitely the universal love language of just connecting and communicating with one another. So there's no assumptions. Nobody ain't assuming anything, trying to analyze a story or make up a story or have to question like, is he doing this? Is she doing that? And that's one thing that I love about communicating. Even I'm just glad I'm in a relationship where we communicate and it's freely and it's very much open, So also just the fact of don't lose yourself in love. You know how many times many people have, and as we stated, but I wanted to touch on the basis in regards to, because I was going through a topic on TikTok and a conversation that basically was having where I was told basically when you're in a relationship not to give you 100% yourself. You have to at least keep 5 or 10% for you. And when I said that, people was like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm like, at the same time, you gonna put your best foot forward in your relationship. Absolutely. Especially if, the environment has set the relationship, the tone, everything is amazing in all aspects of levels. But I feel like you should still keep 5 or 10% for yourself, because you have to keep that individuality. You have to keep yourself and that self-love intact. And of course, you love this person. You're going to grow to love this person and be in love with this person, but still remember yourself first, you know? So what would you say in regards to that? Do you feel like you should commit 100% of yourself, or is something that you should keep for yourself?
Initially, yes, I think 100%, because I'm the person that if I'm not going to give my all, I'm not going to give anything. It's a waste of time. It's how I would look at it. But as how you explained it, that's a little different. And I can understand that, because although I feel like I put 100% into my relationship, I still care for myself as well. So I guess that is that small percent that you mentioned. So that makes perfect sense. Because we're still individuals. We're one when we're in a relationship, but there's two individuals within one relationship. So we can't on either side lose ourselves, lose track of what we are, who we are. You know, we still have our own individual paths that we may be pursuing and things like that. And that's just where that backing and that extra percent comes in. Like, I'm going to support my mate in whatever it is they're doing, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But so that they can keep a piece of them to themselves and feel like, okay, I don't have to rearrange who I am or just put it all into the other party.
Yeah. And see, and that's the thing also is, and I'm glad you understood me breaking it down. Cause when I broke it down to them, there's like, okay, I get it. I get what you're saying now. And I say, it's not like saying that I'm not going to get 100%. It's just keeping 5 or 10% of my skill for me.
Yeah.
And so in regards to that, I know many people, you know, from childhood to friends, different aspects of my life, where I heard them say that they end up becoming a different person when they was in the relationship, or either just the fact of they couldn't be, like you stated, 100% of themselves. And I just think that's really scary. Like, I feel like you involving yourself with a mate, you end up having these intimate moments, you end up laying down with one another. Like, why shouldn't you not be yourself, or why a person should trick you to allow you from being yourself? What would you say in regards to that?
So most recently, and I think last night actually, I seen this guy breaking down is it called gaslighting? Gaslighting. I'm just becoming familiar with that term, and that is very real. I think that's where the losing yourself comes in, or not being able to be yourself. And just speaking from experience, I was in a situation like that, and I didn't realize that I was changing who I was, but it was because he would either directly or indirectly make me feel a type of way about how I felt, how I moved, even down to how I dressed. And like, I thought about him in everything that I did, because I do want to maintain that level of respect for who I'm with. But like, for instance, what I have on now, I'm fully covered. You can see this right here. But he have a problem with this. And instead of just saying, you know, like, this is something you're uncomfortable with, because, you know, he would make me feel like that I wanted to dress like I was less than, that I wanted to be less than, that I wasn't virtuous and things like that. Yeah. And so, although I know who I am and I'm very confident because I love you so much, it's triggering things like, okay, well, is this how he looking at me? Is this how he feels about me? Oh no, let me adjust myself. Let me change how I move. Let me change who I deal with. Let me change my friends, because I don't want him to feel like I'm anything like them, or I'm anything like this, or the crowd. Just any little thing, I would slowly start to do what I thought he wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize, like, I was falling into what he was doing. And then even also, my latest topic has been men feeling like they can't express themselves because women judge them, or women aren't gonna let them get it out, or are gonna make them feel less of a man and things like that. And I think that also plays a part in this conversation, because my argument is, men and women, because I've also been in a situation where if I do express myself, it's taken as I'm being bitchy. I just want to argue. I just want to be combative and things like that. But to me, if you're with someone that you cannot express yourself with, then that is not the person for you.
Yeah.
That's not a one-way street. It's not just women. Men and women are like that. And if in friendships, if I can't express myself and we agree to disagree or have difference of opinion, why am I dealing with you as a person? You don't respect me and how I feel. So that also plays a part with that. Like, they will make you feel like it's you.
Yeah, I definitely get that. And I definitely get the fact of where the part where some men have complications in being, when you say expressing themselves, I just feel like because they haven't either been taught or they haven't been given the environment have not been set for them to be vulnerable, to express themselves, their feelings, their emotions, how they feel. And I've been hearing about this a lot, even years before, throughout the time. And me being a boy mom, I'm like, that's something I would never cripple my son to do. Like, I want him to be able to express himself, but making sure he trusts the person he's expressing and becoming vulnerable with, because there's some women that could take that vulnerability and weaponize it against you and use it against you. And it's like, oh, now I know who you are, because no, boo. And us as mothers, we ready to go attack. Like, you're not about to do that with this.
Yeah, for real.
So, and just having emotional intelligence about being able to express their emotions and their feelings and having control of their emotion, because that's why you see some grown men around here having these big adult grown temper tantrums, because they don't know how to control their emotions, because they'll not put the emotions in place and to be able to communicate what they're feeling. And but I definitely get what you're saying, and it's like, I don't know, it had to be definitely within him, in himself. It has to be. But him, because I feel like him being with you, he should know who you are. He should have known that you know your worth, your value. He knew what it is that your intellect, all that. So by you dressing how you feel like you want to dress, should not end up basically to have you feel like, or him look at you as you disvaluing yourself, or vice versa, or anything else. And that was just, that's how some people are. And I want to definitely touch on the factors where you did say what being in a relationship with a man where you could be able to actually be boisterous. And I want every woman to experience that, because I'm in a relationship where I could be boisterous, I could have my opinion, I could speak my statement, my saying, how I feel and everything, and it won't be weaponized against me, and I could say it in my feminine energy.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it respectfully, and they're taking it in a respectful manner because they understand it. And I hear so many women not experiencing that, in regards to be comfortable to be able to, because then, like you say, I have many times on many panels, I've been called aggressive. I've been called angry. I've been called,
I'm the bully. I'm the bully.
I even, to the point, I even heard that, oh, you must talk to your man like this. And I have to get them straight, because I'm speaking to you don't mean I speak to my man like that.
Exactly.
This is not the environment that my man creates for me.
Right.
You got to realize that men have to realize, when you come and approach and you come attack a woman, why do they think they're going to get the opposite of what they're delivering? If you create a negative environment, you create an attackment environment. If you create an environment where you are already about to judge her and get on her, or about to weaponize her opinion, and you asking me for my opinion, but then because you don't like it, now you're about to whip me with my opinion. Now I'm angry, aggressive, and I'm mad, bitter. This is how I talk to my men.
Oh my God. Yes. I just did a video on that, because it's like, why are strong women labeled aggressive, controlling, combative? They don't want to listen. And again, I'm with you. The person that I'm with, I'm so grateful for, and I'm thankful that I am with him, because we have that open communication. We have that openness to where I can be myself and he can be his. This is something I've always wanted to do. And I'm talking like 6 or 7 years back, but I was in another situation, and anything that I wanted to do, he was against it, or he made me feel like, oh no, how he gonna feel about it? He not gonna like that. He not gonna like this. Versus where I'm at now, do to you. Oh, I see the video you did. I'm proud of you. I like how you did this or did that. Or even encouraging me and giving me advice on how I can do it different. I'm open to that. But because I am so vocal, and I'm talking about on every situation that you think of, if I don't have an opinion, I'm gonna go research it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna come back and know, okay, this is how I feel about it. But I stress so much, it's my opinion. It's how I feel. You can't change that within me. But people, I was just having this conversation with my mother. People feel like because I'm so vocal that I run my man, that I'm in control, that I'm the boss. That
When that's not even the case,
girl, he said me up real quick.
I'm telling you, it's not even the case.
No, and as I always say, I wouldn't even want a man
like that
I can control.
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't want that. And knowing me, you think that's the type of man that I'm gonna settle for. But people always say that to me, and it's just so crazy. Like, why can't I just be who I am? And he loves me for who he loves. That when we met, I was a little crazy, but like he said, I love the way you love me though. Like, you love hard. Like, it's like, you're not gonna play with my feelings. Not psychotic, but crazy. You're not gonna play with my feelings. You're not gonna play with me. We're not gonna play these games. You either gonna get it together, or we're gonna go our separate ways. And although at the time they may not want to hear that, but they respect it. Yeah, that's what they love about you.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna stop being who I am. Or clearly that's who you love, right? Or if you feel like, oh no, I don't like this or that about you, then I may not be the one for you anymore.
Exactly. And I see that with so many people, they end up not realizing that when you find yourself not being the right fit for somebody, they try to force themselves to be the right fit and try to fix the person and end up staying and say, oh, it's going to be different, it's going to change. No. That's like a puzzle that the piece doesn't fit in that spot. That means there's another piece that belongs there. And you can't bang it in, you can't force it in, you can't push it in. It just doesn't work. It doesn't fix. It's not a line. It's not a substance for it to be there.
Right.
And listen, and you hit the nail on the head with everything you say, because I'm telling you, like, I'm not even that. I'm very submissive to my men.
Yeah.
I'm very submissive to both of them. And the thing is, it's like, in regards to that, I'm like, because they created that environment. They created that lane. And they even love me for me being boisterous, opinionated, having my saying and what I need to say, and just saying that, oh, she's not just one of those cute little girls that's sitting there and saying yes and everything. Like,
right.
I'm not that person. But they also know that I know when to be quiet when they speak. I know when they're speaking, it's for me to listen, because we teach each other things.
Yes.
So... But child, listen. But so tell us about the podcast.
It's just pretty much going to be open. Like I said, it's not geared towards any certain topics or it's just really open. Like whatever come to mind, and like I be on. I didn't probably not even 6 months. TikTok has become my best friend. My daughter is like, Mom, because she dances. And so that's her lane. And she's like, when did you become so big on TikTok? And when I really got into, because how it happened was we were doing a podcast. We launched it like in September. And from the moment we launched it, every episode was like behind, because I was getting flaked on. I was getting stood up. And so we were supposed to be playing catch up, but basically everything was behind, or we just wouldn't record at all. And so after voicing this to my man, he's like, well, why don't you just try something else in between time to maintain. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And me, I'm one of those people, when I got something on my mind, I will go on social media and I'll just make like a long post about it or whatever. And he's like, why don't you start turning those into videos and actually giving people your opinion,
Yeah.
and visually.
Yeah.
And so that's what I started doing. And in between time, we would still record. And then when we would do our topics, either I would pick a topic from there or it'll be like an add-on. And I got a whole notebook full of topics, and that's just what I started doing. But then I'm like, okay, because people be like, oh, I want to talk to you. I want to sit down with you. And I really want to have my own podcast anyway. So it's like, okay, are you just going to do these videos? Or are you going to actually just become a podcast and do what you know you want to do?
Why not do both?
I mean, I think I can, honestly, because that'll still be like a way to promote the podcast. But now with actually turning it into a podcast, I can have guests, because with those, I usually don't make them no longer than 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And I just give my opinion. So I'll still do those, and it'll either be like, this was on this show, or this is what we're going to be talking about on the upcoming show.
Yes.
And I'm going to bring in different guests and do it like that. But I just want to do it. And,
Yeah.
I've been on like this little run. This my third one in the past few days. So I'm like, okay, I guess. And then I've been getting invites. Like, I want you on my show. I want to talk to you, or I want you to give your opinion. And people have always told me, like, you should have your own show, or why have you ever thought about starting a podcast? And I have for years and years, but I always felt like I needed a co-host. It's like, who am I going to talk to? Because I don't want to do TED Talk. So it's like, who am I going to talk to?
Yeah.
But now that I'm becoming more comfortable with it, okay, I can do this, but I can still bring in guests versus having a co-host and having to be on their time. And if they not on time, or if they not feeling like it, I can't do anything. Like, I was feeling stagnant. So this is where I'm at.
Yeah. And that's how I was, because I went on a hiatus after I had to relieve, my previous co-host of her duties. And I was like, what am I going to do? And then I started bringing a cousin of mine, because the co-host that I originally had was a cousin of mine, the female cousin. But then I had a male cousin was like, okay, I come on, step in until you figure out what you're going to do. And then from there, I just went on I did a season finale. This was like a year or so, it was a year or two ago. And all of a sudden, it's like my aunt, she reached out to me and she was like, what's going on? Like, where's the new episode for the show? Like, I'm listening. So I said, well, if the hiatus is supposed to have been for 3 months, but unfortunately it's extended. And she like, what's wrong? She was like, oh, because of, your cousin, da-da-da. I said, yeah. She's like, you don't know what to do. I say, no, because I felt like that was my vision, was to come in. I had a vision for all. I set everything up. I see the different levels every year we was going. I had it. And that even to this day, like I said, the vision is bigger than me. And I'm very obedient. When the universe tell me to move, I move. So when she spoke to me and she said, they didn't tell me that there's many other podcasters out there. I say, yeah. She say, well, collaborate with them. How about you invite them on? Yeah, you pick a topic, or both of y'all bring a topic at hand in part 1.5 of the show, the other half of the show, however you want to do it. And you guys are having a conversation virtually, like if you sitting at grandma's kitchen table and having a fluid conversation that all of a sudden people will be listening to. And then have guest co-hosts that come on, that's people from the world, the real world, that you want their opinions about your topic and stuff like that. So that's why I started being very creative about it. And I started reaching out to people, and it just been working. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, thank God for putting whatever you need, you put it in her spirit to read.
That's good.
Exactly. So yeah, girl, you got it. You could do it. You got this.
Yeah. It was just like, I guess it maybe like from December to January, it kind of slowed up. But then December is always slow for me, because my son's birthday is in December, and I lost him like coming up on 3 years ago.
I
So that's like, it was that, and then it was there, and it's like the last thing I got time for is to be chasing somebody, and I felt like that's what I was doing, or babysitting. But then it was like, well, dang, how do I tell her, like, it's not working? Like, you know how they say, like, stop hitting somebody up and see how much you talk to them. And like, when I stopped pressing her, like, okay, don't forget the day up, we gotta record this time. Like, we have a set date and time, and you can't make those. And it went from us I built a studio in my home, so from us doing it here to we became remote. How can't you make remote? So it was just like, how am I gonna do this? And I know she probably started to feel a little way because my videos started to really do things. But it's like, I want to do this, and I wanted to do it with you. Like, I was very particular on who and how I do things, and you just, like, you held me back. And like, I spent money and invested from logos and, you know, extra mics and everything that we needed. So I was kind of like, how I'm gonna tell her, I'm this or that. But she literally, like you said, she just, when I stopped telling her we got to record today, I was not hearing from her. And it's like, I would come and turn on the computer, log in, and she wasn't there. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, she removed herself, literally.
Yeah.
You know, and that was in a way that my cousin did, but my cousin ended up feeling like she felt it. So of course she wanted to approach me about it. And I was like, yeah, it is. And I'm not going to force you to be there. I don't want to have to worry about you not showing up. And, you know, I listen when people talk. I watch people pay facial expression, body language, and words they use and what they say. You have to pay attention because people will tell you how they feel and what's on their mind. You just have to pay attention to it. But yeah, you got this. Let's say y'all, her podcast will be coming soon. Trust and believe. But until then, please watch her TikTok videos. Because she be spitting some gems. That's how I end up running into her on TikTok. And I was like, oh, yes, I want her on the show. And I wasn't trying to like all her posts because I didn't want to shadow ban her. but she definitely knew I was there, you know, like no more than 3 posts. And then I just slide in the messages, you know, as they call, quote unquote, the DMs.
Right.
Yes, and she is definitely here. So where can the people actually find you besides TikTok? And come on, you gotta give us a date soon. Come on, I'm putting that pressure on you.
It'll be by my birthday, March 13th.
Okay.
I have to do it by then, or it'll be delayed because my son's death date is at the end of March 28th. So I said the top of March. I didn't really set a date, but it's dropping either way. Definitely by my birthday. And you can find me on TikTok or Facebook. It's Krissie the GOAT. And that's KRISSIETHAGOAT. And then I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. And it's Krissie 2 times. Krissie _ 2 times. And that's KRISSIE_2X.
Yes, absolutely. And what parting tea words would you give the PTWTT family in regards to the topic and the subject that we covered today?
Put yourself first. Definitely put yourself first. As I like to say, be selfish. Be selfish. You can be selfless and be selfish at the same time. Be selfish with you, with your time, how you give yourself to people, and be sure that you're ready to give yourself, because when you open up yourself to someone, all it takes is that one crack. Once you let them in, you get wrapped up and it'd be hard to get out. So definitely just be selfish in the beginning and then be sure that this is the person you can be selfless with.
Absolutely. Listen, y'all hear that advice? If you haven't, rewind it and listen to it again. I definitely agree. And, you know, my parting tea to the PTWTT family is I would just basically piggyback on her, just be selfless. Be selfish. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish, you know, and put yourself first. And not only that, but just realize, make a choice for yourself. If you see something not working, it's okay to let it go. Everything is not forever. Things are for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. You just have to figure out what that individual lane that person, you have to place them in. And when you got your seasonals, let's not try to put our seasonals in lifetime positions, because that's what it's called, a season. It has an expiration date. And don't be afraid to be by yourself, and if you are, just, take a moment, take a deep breath, take your time, and just realize it's okay to get to learn yourself, get to know yourself, get to love yourself even more than you did yesterday. So please make sure you guys take this information in the vein. And as you guys can always find me on every podcast platform across the board, as well as on all social media platforms. And listen, I appreciate you so much, Chrissy, for coming through and having this conversation and giving us your opinion on the topics. And not only that, but you guys make sure you follow, you like, you comment, and do not like more than 3 posts, please. And also comment and share as well, because like I say, she be dropping some gems in her videos, and her podcast will be coming soon. So if you guys go like and follow her, you could definitely keep update on when's coming and everything. So I definitely know I'm looking forward to put it in my favorites of my podcast list and watching on my big screen TV and sharing it in my stories. So that's how I love to support our own. So you guys, again, I appreciate you guys coming through to listen to us, and sharing. And put your comments and your likes and subscribe to the channel, and share it to your friends. Don't be greedy and stingy. Share it to your friends. But thank you again so much, PTWTT family. For those who are new, welcome to the PTWTT family. We welcome you with your opinion. We welcome with you being authentically you. We welcome you to being who you are. Not only that, but as I always say, do not be the shade to someone's light. Be the light to someone's shade. And continue to be unapologetically you, because you was made perfectly perfect. And stand freely on who you are. So you guys have an amazing night. I'll see you guys again at same time, same station, but different day. You guys have a